Knowledge. Knowledge can be defined as awareness of facts or as practical skills, and may also refer to familiarity with objects or situations. The topic, knowledge, in overview. Types of knowledge. The topic, types of knowledge, in overview. By form. The topic, by form, in overview. A priori and a posteriori knowledge. Descriptive knowledge. In epistemology, descriptive knowledge, also known as propositional knowledge, knowing that declarative knowledge, or constative knowledge, is knowledge that can be expressed in a declarative sentence or an indicative proposition. Explicit knowledge. Explicit knowledge, also expressive knowledge, is knowledge that can be readily articulated, codified, stored and accessed. It can be expressed in formal and systematical language and shared in the form of data, scientific formulae, specifications, manuals and such like. Extelligence. Extelligence is a term coined by Ian Stewart and Jack Cohen in their 1997 book Figments of Reality. They define it as the cultural capital that is available to us in the form of external media, e.g. tribal legends, folklore, nursery rhymes, books, videotapes, CD-ROMs, etc. They contrast extelligence with intelligence, or the knowledge and cognitive processes within the brain. Knowledge by acquaintance. In philosophy, a distinction is often made between two different kinds of knowledge, knowledge by acquaintance and knowledge by description. Whereas knowledge by description is something like ordinary propositional knowledge, e.g. Libre knowledge. Free content, libre content, libre information, or free information, is any kind of functional work, work of art, or other creative content that meets the definition of a free cultural work. Procedural knowledge. Procedural knowledge, also known as knowing how, and sometimes referred to as practical knowledge, imperative knowledge, or performative knowledge, is the knowledge exercised in the performance of some task. Tacit knowledge. Tacit knowledge or implicit knowledge, as opposed to formal, codified or explicit knowledge, is knowledge that is difficult to express or extract, and thus more difficult to transfer to others by means of writing it down or verbalizing it. Experience. Experience refers to conscious events in general, more specifically to perceptions, or to the practical knowledge and familiarity that is produced by these conscious processes. Understood as a conscious event in the widest sense, experience involves a subject to which various items are presented. The topic, experience, in overview. Empirical evidence. Empirical evidence for a proposition is evidence, i.e. what supports or counters this proposition, that is constituted by or accessible to sense experience or experimental procedure. Empirical evidence is of central importance to the sciences and plays a role in various other fields, like epistemology and law. Experiential knowledge. Experiential knowledge is knowledge gained through experience, as opposed to a priori before experience knowledge. It can also be contrasted both with propositional textbook knowledge, and with practical knowledge. By scope. The topic, by scope, in overview. Common knowledge. Common knowledge is knowledge that is publicly known by everyone or nearly everyone, usually with reference to the community in which the knowledge is referenced. Common knowledge can be about a broad range of subjects, such as science, literature, history, or entertainment. Customer knowledge. Customer knowledge (CK) is the combination of experience, value and insight information which is needed, created and absorbed during the transaction and exchange between the customers and enterprise. Campbell 2003 defines customer knowledge as organized and structured information about the customer as a result of systematic processing. Domain knowledge. Domain knowledge is knowledge of a specific, specialized discipline or field, in contrast to general or domain-independent knowledge. The term is often used in reference to a more general discipline, for example, in describing a software engineer who has general knowledge of computer programming as well as domain knowledge about developing programs for a particular industry. Foundational knowledge. Open Knowledge Foundation (OKF) is a global, non-profit network that promotes and shares information at no charge, including both content and data. It was founded by Rufus Pollock on the 20th of May 2004 and launched on the 24th of May 2004 in Cambridge, UK. General knowledge. General knowledge is information that has been accumulated over time through various mediums, sources. It excludes specialized learning that can only be obtained with extensive training and information confined to a single medium. Meta-knowledge. Meta-knowledge or meta-knowledge is knowledge about knowledge. Some authors divide meta-knowledge into orders. Zero-order meta-knowledge is knowledge whose domain is not knowledge, and hence zero-order meta-knowledge is not meta-knowledge per se. First-order meta-knowledge is knowledge whose domain is zero-order meta-knowledge. Second-order meta-knowledge is knowledge whose domain is first-order meta-knowledge. Most generally, n+1 order meta-knowledge is knowledge whose domain is n-order meta-knowledge. Mutual knowledge. Mutual knowledge in game theory is information known by all participatory agents. However, unlike common knowledge, a related topic, mutual knowledge does not require that all agents are aware that this knowledge is mutual. Self-knowledge. Self-knowledge is a term used in psychology to describe the information that an individual draws upon when finding an answer to the question, "What am I like?" While seeking to develop the answer to this question, self-knowledge requires ongoing self-awareness and self-consciousness, which is not to be confused with consciousness. Traditional knowledge. Traditional knowledge (TK), indigenous knowledge (IK), and local knowledge generally refer to knowledge systems embedded in the cultural traditions of regional, indigenous, or local communities. According to the World Intellectual Property Organization (WIPO) and the United Nations (UN), traditional knowledge and traditional cultural expressions (TCE) are both types of indigenous knowledge. Traditional ecological knowledge. Traditional ecological knowledge (TEC) describes indigenous and other traditional knowledge of local resources. As a field of study in Northern American anthropology, TEC refers to a cumulative body of knowledge, belief, and practice, evolving by accumulation of TEC and handed down through generations through traditional songs, stories and beliefs. Structure of knowledge. The topic, structure of knowledge, in overview. Types of subject taxonomies. The topic, types of subject taxonomies, in overview. Document classification. Document classification or document categorization is a problem in library science, information science and computer science. The task is to assign a document to one or more classes or categories. This may be done manually, or intellectually, or algorithmically. Library classification. A library classification is a system of organization of knowledge by which library resources are arranged and ordered systematically. Library classifications are a notational system that represents the order of topics in the classification and allows items to be stored in that order. Taxonomy for search engines. Taxonomy for search engines refers to classification methods that improve relevance in vertical search. Taxonomies of entities are tree structures whose nodes are labeled with entities likely to occur in a web search query. Specific taxonomies of knowledge. The topic, specific taxonomies of knowledge, in overview. Figurative system of human knowledge. The figurative system of human knowledge, sometimes known as the tree of Diderot and D'Alembert, was a tree developed to represent the structure of knowledge itself, produced for the encyclopédie by Jean-Le-Rond d'Alembert and Denis Diderot. Propedia. The one-volume Propedia is the first of 3 parts of the 15th edition of Encyclopædia Britannica, intended as a compendium and topical organization of the 12-volume Micropedia and the 17-volume Macropedia, which are organized alphabetically. Tree of Knowledge System. The Tree of Knowledge (TOC) system is a new map of big history that traces cosmic evolution across 4 different planes of existence, identified as matter, life, mind and culture that are mapped respectively by the physical, biological, psychological and social domains of science. Types of bodies of recorded knowledge. The topic, types of bodies of recorded knowledge, in overview. Encyclopedias. An encyclopedia, American English, or encyclopedia, British English, is a reference work or compendium providing summaries of knowledge either general or special to a particular field or discipline. Libraries. Academic disciplines. An academic discipline or academic field is a subdivision of knowledge that is taught and researched at the college or university level. Disciplines are defined, in part, and recognized by the academic journals in which research is published, and the learned societies and academic departments or faculties within colleges and universities to which their practitioners belong. Curriculae. The following outline is provided as an overview of and topical guide to knowledge. Knowledge, familiarity with someone or something, which can include facts, information, descriptions, and/or skills acquired through experience or education. Knowledge commons. The term, knowledge commons, refers to information, data, and content that is collectively owned and managed by a community of users, particularly over the Internet. What distinguishes a knowledge commons from a commons of shared physical resources is that digital resources are non-subtractable. Body of knowledge. A body of knowledge, BOK or BOK, is the complete set of concepts, terms and activities that make up a professional domain, as defined by the relevant learned society or professional association. It is a type of knowledge representation by any knowledge organization. Knowledge representation. Knowledge base. A knowledge base (KB) is a technology used to store complex structured and unstructured information used by a computer system. The initial use of the term was in connection with expert systems, which were the first knowledge-based systems. Personal knowledge base. A personal knowledge base (PKB) is an electronic tool used to express, capture, and later retrieve the personal knowledge of an individual. It differs from a traditional database in that it contains subjective material particular to the owner, that others may not agree with nor care about. Specific bodies of recorded knowledge, by type. The topic, specific bodies of recorded knowledge, by type, in overview. Bodies of knowledge. The topic, bodies of knowledge, in overview. A guide to the business analysis body of knowledge. A guide to the business analysis body of knowledge, BABOK, is a guide about business analysis, issued by the International Institute of Business Analysis, IIBA, attempting to reflect current best practice and to provide a framework that describes the areas of knowledge, with associated activities and tasks and techniques required, from the International Institute of Business Analysis. Canadian IT body of knowledge. A body of knowledge, BOK or BOK, is the complete set of concepts, terms and activities that make up a professional domain, as defined by the relevant learned society or professional association. It is a type of knowledge representation by any knowledge organization. Civil engineering body of knowledge. The civil engineering body of knowledge is a body of knowledge, set forth in a proposal by the American Society of Civil Engineers, ASCE, entitled Civil Engineering Body of Knowledge for the 21st Century. Common body of knowledge. CISSP, Certified Information Systems Security Professional, is an independent information security certification granted by the International Information Systems Security Certification Consortium, also known as ISC². Enterprise Architecture Body of Knowledge. The Enterprise Architecture Body of Knowledge, EABOK, is a guide to enterprise architecture produced by MITRE's Center for Innovative Computing and Informatics, and is substantially funded by U.S. government agencies. Geographic Information Science and Technology Body of Knowledge. The Geographic Information Science and Technology Body of Knowledge (GIST-BOK) is a reference document produced by the University Consortium for Geographic Information Science, UCGIS, as the first product of its model curricular project, started in 1997 by Dwayne Marble and a select task force, and completed in 2006 by David DeBiase and a team of editors. Project Management Body of Knowledge. The Project Management Body of Knowledge (PMBOK) is a set of standard terminology and guidelines, a body of knowledge, for project management. The body of knowledge evolves over time and is presented in a guide to the Project Management Body of Knowledge, PMBOK Guide, a book whose 7th edition was released in 2021. Software Engineering Body of Knowledge.